They threw stones at the alien girl until a human stepped in and took the hit. They called her a monster. They called her a freak. And the worst part was, she had started to believe it. The outcast. Her name was Tira, and she was the only one of her kind on the colony world of Haven 6. Blue-skinned, four-fingered, with faint luminescent veins that glowed beneath her translucent skin, a constant reminder that she wasn't human. She hadn't asked to be here. Her ship had crashed years ago, leaving her stranded among a mining colony that barely tolerated its own people, let alone aliens. The children threw rocks at her. The adults pretended not to see. And every time a stone hit her shoulder or her cheek, she simply lowered her head and whispered to herself, "Don't cry. Don't give them the satisfaction." The human who watched. Among the crowd that day stood Elias Tren, a human engineer, quiet, broad-shouldered, known mostly for fixing broken things. He'd seen her before, working near the mines, sweeping dust just to earn scraps of food. But this time, something in her eyes stopped him. There was no hate, no rage, just quiet acceptance, as if she had decided she deserved their cruelty. He couldn't watch anymore. The next rock came flying, fast, sharp, aimed right for her face. Tira didn't even flinch. But before it hit, a blur stepped in front of her. The stone struck Elias square in the forehead. He staggered, blood dripping down his temple, and looked back at the stunned crowd. "That's enough." His voice was calm. Too calm. The kind that made people freeze before realizing they were afraid. "She's done nothing to you. You want to throw stones? Fine. Throw them at me." No one moved. No one spoke. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. The aftermath. He took her hand, small, trembling, cold, and led her away from the circle of hate. She kept her eyes down, whispering, "You shouldn't have done that. They'll hate you now, too." He smiled weakly. "They already do. I just gave them a better reason." In the quiet that followed, they sat beneath a rusted dome, the colony lights flickering in the distance. He cleaned the cut on his head with his sleeve. She reached out, hesitated, and touched it gently. The moment her fingers brushed his skin, the wound began to close. Faint blue light pulsed beneath his flesh. What was that?" he whispered. "Healing," she said softly. "The only gift my kind were ever known for." He smiled. "Then maybe you're not cursed after all." The turning point. Word spread fast. The alien used magic on him. She infected him. She's controlling his mind. By the next day, the colony council summoned them both. Tira stood trembling before the gathered humans, chains around her wrists. Elias stood beside her, refusing to let go of her hand. "She's no threat," he said. "She's one of us. She's saved more lives than any of you will admit. She's an outsider," the councilman spat. "She doesn't belong here." Elias looked at Tira, then at them, and said the words that would change everything. "Then neither do I." The Exodus. They left that night. No supplies, no destination, just stars overhead and the barren road ahead. For days they walked across the wasteland until the mining lights were only ghosts behind them, when the desert wind grew too harsh. Tira wrapped her glowing arms around him, her body radiating warmth. He taught her to read old maps. She taught him the songs of her people. Soft melodies meant to call the moons closer. When he looked at her, he no longer saw an alien. He saw hope. He saw what humanity could be, if it just learned to stop hating what it didn't understand. Years later, a new colony was founded, hidden, green, thriving. Humans and aliens, side by side, working as equals. Its name was Haven's Light. At the center of it stood two figures, a blue-skinned woman with eyes full of stars, and a man with a faint scar across his forehead. When the children asked about it, he'd laugh and say, "That's what happens when you stand up for something worth bleeding for."